You too, man. What's good, man? We back at it again with another video. So we got an update on that lawsuit that was involving Fox Sports. You feel me? So we're gonna listen to Jason Whitlock on his show. He's gonna give his perspective of what's going on because he actually worked at Fox Sports. Jason Whitlock is akin to like your Stephen A. or your Skip Bayless, where he might have played sports when he was younger, but he's more of a journalist. He has a great mind, and his takes are always they're not hit or miss, but they're solid takes, and you'd be like, all right, cool for me. So he's been on the up and up for the last 15 somebody years, something like that. So he understands what was going on, especially at that time in 2016 when everything kind of started to get rolling with Joy Taylor. So anyway, from the last video, I was talking about how Fox Sports had the lawsuit from the hairstylist Nushin Faraji. She's an Iranian, and she came to America, trying to do her thing. She's a hairstylist, and there were people that were making her life harder. One of those people was Joy Taylor, and instead of talking about what happened with her and Skip and Mr. Dixon, everybody seems to be talking about what they got going on with her and basically them freaking off and all of that. Basically, her having sex with everybody at the Fox Sports situation. Jason Whitlock was somebody who knew her, didn't have any real involvement, and kind of explains his experiences at Fox Sports while they were all there. So I'm going to let him do his thing. Before we get to that, please, I appreciate y'all. We are over 200 subscribers. Please allow this channel to grow. If you want more content, like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. All right, let's get into it.
You think that that's what the story is about. And what we ended up, and as you watch this play out, no one's really talking about Skip Bayless. No one's really talking about Charlie Dixon. Everybody's talking about Joy Taylor and what she allegedly did, according to this lawsuit, what she allegedly did to become a talk show host at Fox Sports 1. That's the real takeaway, and that's the real story from this. And it's not that I don't say that to exonerate Charlie Dixon or Skip Bayless or Emmanuel Acho or anybody else. I'm just telling you the reality that Joy Taylor is a symbol of this whole feminist movement, this whole Black Queens movement, this whole DEI movement, this whole sharing everything with women, and hey, there's got to be a woman host on all of these shows. Well, there's consequences to that. And this whole system has been set up to create the kind of chaos and division and inefficiency and corruption that we're seeing spelled out in this lawsuit, but we're seeing spelled out all across American media. We'll stick to sports media, but this all applies to cable news and hard news media, the whole 9 yards. When the goal is, in sports media, hey, how can we discover the next Aaron Andrews? How can we discover the next sideline Barbie? How can we empower the next hot girl that becomes a television star? Well, now you're putting male executives in a position where they're constantly interviewing 25, 26, 27-year-old women who don't know all that much about sports. They pretend that they do know a lot about sports. And hey, Joy Taylor's brother is in the NFL Hall of Fame. And that means what? That she knows football? Hardly, in my opinion, and in everybody's opinion. Does that mean, oh, her brother's in the Hall of Fame? I want to hear what Joy Taylor has to say about football and basketball. No. No, we don't. And Joy Taylor knows that. She knows that she has very little to offer. And so what does she end up offering up? If she doesn't have insight, if she hasn't paid her dues and become some great journalist, what does she have to offer? And what has she been offering on Fox Sports? And I don't say this to be hypercritical of Joy Taylor. I don't have harsh opinions of Joy Taylor. She's not someone that I didn't get along with. I basically, for the most part, just kept my distance from Joy Taylor. And I kept my distance not because I didn't like her, it's just because I knew myself. I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly. For the most part, just kept my distance from that peanut butter skin with that big rack. Like, Jay, keep your distance. That's going to get you into trouble. And so that's what I did. I kept my distance.
You see what he's talking about? 9 times out of 10, no matter the job you got, you will not encounter a woman that looks that beautiful, who is actually willing to put it all out there for you, for lack of a better way of putting it. So seeing how she's there and they have to deal with trying to keep everything professional and knowing she has nothing really to bring to the network except how beautiful she is, what are we to do? We can sit there and try to pretend that she had a lot to offer. She is the regular dime a dozen woman who is on these situations, on these networks. There are some who do give good quality insight, input, and they do understand. Like Doris Burke, for instance. She's a color commentator for the NBA. She knows basketball. She's coached basketball. She's played basketball. She's not looked at sexually because her opinion is very, very valid because of her experiences within the sport of basketball. There are other people that are out there, other women that are out there, but this is what's going on. You want to start adding women to these men-led circles. Sex, especially if all they have to offer is their appearance, we have to be real. We have to understand this is the things that happen. Now, this is coming to the forefront because of the lawsuit. However, we would know nothing about it if they would have treated that woman right, because I'm sure she wanted nothing to do with it. But she knew what was going on behind closed doors. So she decided, if my job is on the line and I have my child to feed and you guys are going to treat me like that, you're not going to pay me, you're going to threaten my job, you're going to threaten me, I'm going to sue you. So considering that makes a lot of sense. But I'm not going to lie, look at all that. I don't know many men that's turning that down. What'd he say? That peanut butter skin and that big rack. Jesus Christ, he sounds like a white guy. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not many black guys that's going to describe a woman that looks like that same way.
When you put some woman in a job, talking sports with a bunch of men, it's a job she's not qualified for. She's talking sports with professional athletes, people that did it at the highest level. She's talking sports with me or Colin Cowherd or other people that have really studied sports at a super high level. What does she have to offer other than her sex appeal? And so should we be surprised that she leaned into that?
Nope.
No, we should. They put her in that position where it's the only thing she had to offer, and so she offered it up and got what she wanted. Let's think this through. If you go into the lawsuit and the things that Nusheen says and the way she says things played out, Joy Taylor was some sort of fill-in talk show host down in Miami who, people in Miami kind of knew who she was. I think she may have had some association with Dan Le Batard or whatever, but She hadn't taken Miami by storm as a radio talk show host. She was a little extra, attractive girl. What's her? Jason Taylor's sister. Hey, let's put her on radio. But she hadn't really done anything. But somehow, she's qualified to be the host of Undisputed, a debate show between Skip Bayless, who, like him or not, was an accomplished sports journalist for a time, and a Hall of Fame football player in Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe reached the top of the sports industry. Skip Bayless reached the top of the sports media industry. And Joy Taylor had done some radio work down in Miami.
So up to this point, what is there to argue? I mean, he set it up and put it out there plainly. She did not have the qualifications. So if she's going to have this job, what is she going to be able to offer? What she's been offering up. I said in the last video, you could tell, because I actually watched the video, or the show, Undisputed. She had really just sat there, read the prompt, and looked left and right as they spoke. She did not even mediate them very well. She literally was there as a pretty face to read the prompt and to sit there and watch Shannon and Skip talk. That was it. And truth be told, the easiest job somebody like that could have would be that, considering how popular the show was, how much traction they were also getting in other, because it was becoming more mainstream of a show. So at that point in time, when they first, at the inception of the show, we can sit there and try to pretend that she was the best option. No, that's not the case. She was the most attractive option, and she was utilizing that attraction to be able to leverage what she needed. What he's talking about is what happened. That's all. There's nothing more to it.
What does she have to offer? So how does she get that job? How does she even get that opportunity? Because she's got a big pair of cans, and she's, according to Sheen, she's willing to let people enjoy those big cans of hers. That's how we got here. And it's not Joy Taylor's fault. And I want to go through and just, I'm trying not to disparage Joy Taylor, but the facts are the facts. I can remember I'm at Fox Sports at the time, and I ran into some friction because I didn't want a woman on a show that I was doing at Fox Sports. And so this is in 2015-16 at the very beginning. And I can remember they brought Joy Taylor in for a test on the show that I was doing. Yeah, this is at the time when I was going to be initially doing my own show, and Cowherd was doing something else. And just keeping it all the way real, Charlie Dixon wanted her to be involved with my show. And so we brought her in for a test. And I didn't think the test went well. And I let everybody know, hey, I don't think this test went well. I don't want, this isn't the direction I wanted to go. I was trying to play nice and trying to meet them halfway in terms of okay, you guys are insisting on a woman being on this show because that's what everybody wants. And I was like, well, you need to bring a grown-ass woman on the show if it's going to be with me. It can't be at this time. This is 10 years ago. Well, Joy Taylor's probably 25, 26 years old. You talking about, I mean, I got a lot of discipline, but 25-year-old with them big cans and that peanut butter skin who has nothing to say, at some point I'm going to lose respect. And I'm like, well, the only thing she's got to offer is them big cans and that peanut butter skin.
So before he continues, let me kind of lessen to make what he's saying more digestible. So what people fail to realize is it is important in men's spaces or just in general to bring some kind of value for respect. Respect and value. Value equals respect. However you need to understand that, that's how it goes. So if you don't bring much value, man, woman alike, you will not receive respect if you are going into a space where there are already people who are respected. Skip Bayless, respected. Jason Whitlock, respected. You know, Emmanuel Acho grew into that, got respected. Stephen A. Smith, the list goes on and on. Colin Coward. So these guys had a certain level of respect because of the time and attention that they got, and because of the popularity that they had amassed over the time they were sports journalists and things like that. So to sit here and look at Joy to try to say that she's on that level and she does not even understand the sports that they talked about on a certain level that they understood it is almost asinine. You can see that it's asinine because when she was on the show, she provided no value. What was she there for? Just to mediate, and didn't even do a good job mediating. So you could tell, but it's hard to be in these positions to be able to say the truth because all of us are thinking the same thing. When you have somebody who, she is drop dead gorgeous, there's no doubt about it. When you have somebody that's like that on these shows, not to say that, you know, all of them aren't, even if they provide value, but if you have somebody on a show like that and you see what they're providing, you can actively see, you start to wonder, as a man, she on there because she giving it up. That's it. That sounds a lot like our vice president, who back in the day was very pretty. She is an attractive looking woman in her older pictures. I don't care what anybody says. Kamala Harris was very pretty, and she actually had access to people like Montel Williams. Montel Williams was very popular back in the early 90s and stuff like that. You're not getting access to a man like that without having some kind of attraction, without being very pretty. That's common sense. However, you can kind of see where she leveraged her beauty and her attraction for with Willie Brown, the Judge Willie Brown, at that point in time to be able to get what she needed. And the best thing about life is you can leverage your best assets 9 times out of 10. If you are good at that and you find a way to do that, you will receive some kind of success, regardless of whether it's respectable or not. So that's the good thing about life. And a lot of women do utilize that. However, they have to understand, because this is what happened with Joy, and in my opinion, it happened with Kamala Harris as well. They decided, because they amassed so much popularity and they got to a certain level because of who they were with, they had more power than what they really had. There's a pseudo power when you are given the opportunity to be in these scenarios with these men, to be in these communities, to be able to see these men. There's a pseudo power, you know. So when there are people like in Nushin Faraji's situation, she, because Joy Taylor kept her along, basically, she was under Joy Taylor, and Joy Taylor treated her poorly. In Fox Sports, because of that, treated her poorly as a domino effect. So this is why they're in this position, because she is a boss bee. She wanted to do what she wants to do. She can't be checked because of the people she was with at Fox Sports. Case closed.
But what's alleged in this lawsuit about Joy Taylor and her sleeping with Charlie Dixon and her telling Nusheen and others that she will control Charlie Dixon and that she will say that he sexually harassed her if he ever gets out of line, that was a common play. That was a common tactic by women in sports media.
So, with that being said, can we really look at these women, unless they're in the position that Nushin Faraji was in, which I feel like is still up in the air. Who's to say that there wasn't a relationship and she wasn't reaping any kind of benefits from Skip Bayless? We will never know until they go to court and all the evidence that she says she has comes out. But as of right now, everything's alleged and everything is speculation. But it really is proving that in certain spaces that we should utilize our resources to look at these resumes of these women to break down if they have some kind of value to bring to these shows aside from them being sexualized. If we're trying to bring equality, this isn't it. How can we say that there is real equality if the woman there does not bring any value? How can you say that she's on a level of a Shannon Sharp, of a Skip Bayless? Again, if she does not provide value, that is not equality. And now, with her being on this level, because these guys had to grow to this point, they had to grow to this point to be able to receive the popularity, to receive all the attention that they got. She was reaping that benefit of being on their show and being so beautiful. She stuck out. So people wanted to get to know her. People wanted to see the show. Okay, we got Skip now. We got some eye candy. Boom. That's all it was. But not having real value can really tank the value because now the value of a show because now what we looking at, we're not listening to Skip, we're not listening to Shannon, we're looking at her, and she can take away from the real value. But what's more relevant is it's really hurtful that they can get to a point, Skip and Shannon and Jason Whitlock, Emmanuel Acho, and others, Callan Coward. I keep forgetting him and adding him late, but they can get to this level of having to grind and get to this kind of popularity, right? But she didn't have to put in any work. She didn't really have any background with what they were going on. She didn't know sports. She wasn't talented at really talking about sports. She just knew how to read the prompt and she was gorgeous. And because, as he said, she's Jason Taylor, who was an NFL Hall of Famer, because that's his sister, that's what she got. She got this position. So we can blame the patriarchy, but is it really the patriarchy or is feminism really taking a toll on society? Because if you could tell me that she can only just be pretty and she'll be put up there, she's now brought no real value except her beauty. And now we're putting her on the level of a Shannon Sharp and of a Skip Bayless. They had people like Lil Wayne, different people on there just providing different kind of value. And the other people that they had on, they were journalists that were worth something. So if they were a guest on the show, or let's say they had to substitute for one of them, they still brought immense value to the show because they knew sports and they knew the athletes they were talking about. They knew the scenarios. They watched the games. They understood what their job was versus just being there to look pretty. So because she was in this predicament, because she was pretty, I don't view or respect Nushin Faraji's point saying that the patriarchy is the reason why she was in this position. No, it's not the patriarchy. It was feminism because her real problem was Joy Taylor bringing her along. Her real issue was Joy Taylor bringing her along and putting her in these positions so she can have a job. If it wasn't for Joy Taylor, as I stated in the last video, I don't believe that Fox Sports used her in other shows. Joy Taylor recommended her and requested her, I should say. Joy Taylor requested her to be her sole, hairdresser, and she also did stuff for Skip and Shannon. So, well, mainly Skip. So if the show ended, what value does she bring? That's not patriarchy, that's common sense. If you're not working for the entirety of the company, you're only working for one segment, If you only work for one department in a store and that department gets taken down and you only have talent in that one department, chances are you will be out of a job. That's how any job works. That's how anything works. It's not the patriarchy. That's not men trying to put you under their thumb. That's not even feminism. That's almost common freaking sense. We don't have any more use for you. You no longer have a job. That's why I feel like that lawsuit in its entirety is foolish to even have been brought. But again, she's a single mother. And because this lawsuit has been brought, now we get to see all of the dirty laundry being aired out about Fox Sports. So we appreciate Nushin Faraji and all of these other people for bringing this to the forefront. And hopefully she's able to at least receive something, because if she was being paid little or the way she was being paid was not correct, I feel like they deserve, her and a lot of the people that are part of that class action, they deserve some kind of compensation. That's common sense. That's obvious. They deserve it. Hopefully they can get it. Aside from that, I don't feel like anything should be done, because if a job is no more, you can't be upset that it's gone. You have to just find a way to move on. Nobody cares that you're a single mother at the end of the day. You got to get a job and you got to work. End of story. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I want to also appreciate the subscribers once again. We going to keep bringing you content, rolling and rolling. All right. But anyway, I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. Y'all take it easy. Peace.